The night began like any other. But it ended in an arrest that has shaken the public to its core. A suspect tied to the mysterious and tragic death of beloved actor Menglong attempted a desperate escape. For a brief moment, it seemed they might slip away into the shadows. Unblinking eye of newly uncovered CCTV cameras told a different story. The footage, which quickly spread across social media, captured every detail: the hurried steps, the trembling hands, the frantic glance over the shoulder. Dressed in dark clothing, the figure clutched a small bag and made for a side exit. Just as the door clicked open, security forces closed in. Within seconds, the suspect was pinned to the wall, handcuffed, and led away. The entire scene unfolded like a sequence from a thriller. Except this was no fiction. It was the latest chapter in a case that has already consumed the nation. Fans of Menglong, the arrest was both a relief and a horror. Relief that someone had been caught. Horror at the realization that even more secrets were about to spill into the open. The world had already been introduced to three shadowy figures connected to the tragedy: a colleague, an insider, and a trusted aide. Each carried motives and unanswered questions. Yet, with this arrest, attention shifted in an entirely new direction. While the news cycle burned with analysis of the CCTV footage, another revelation emerged from an unexpected place: a hospital room. Menglong's mother, frail and heartbroken, had herself become a victim. She had been discovered brutally attacked outside her apartment, unconscious and bleeding. Neighbors rushed her to emergency care, and for hours, her condition was uncertain. Crowds of reporters waited outside the hospital while fans left flowers, prayers, and handwritten notes. It seemed unthinkable. Why would anyone target a grieving mother? When she finally opened her eyes, her voice was weak but resolute. According to those present, her first words were a confession that stunned everyone listening. "I know who she is," she whispered. "I've known all along. It's his ex-girlfriend, the one from 2 years ago." Revelation detonated across every platform within minutes. Netizens were left reeling. Could it really be that the woman who once held Menglong's heart was now a suspect in his death? Memories of their once celebrated romance resurfaced in gossip columns and fan forums. They had been inseparable, smiling at industry events, sharing intimate photos. But the relationship ended suddenly, and the public never knew why. Now, with a mother's testimony, the story returned with a vengeance. Those close to the family began recalling unsettling incidents. There had been late-night calls with no voice on the other end. Strange figures spotted outside the family home. Anonymous threats delivered through cryptic messages. At the time, Yu's mother dismissed them as paranoia. After all, who would believe that a young woman once loved by her son could turn into something far more dangerous? The attack on her, however, changed everything. It was as if someone had tried to silence her before she could speak. And when she finally spoke, she named the very person many had forgotten, the ex-girlfriend who disappeared from the spotlight 2 years ago. As the news broke, opinion fractured. Some argued that grief had clouded the mother's judgment, that her words were those of a woman desperate for closure. Others insisted she had revealed the truth that everyone else had been too afraid to say. Either way, the authorities now had no choice but to follow the lead. The arrest captured on CCTV and the confession from the hospital bed had become intertwined, forming a new, darker picture. The media pounced on every angle. Old interviews with the ex-girlfriend resurfaced, dissected for hidden meaning. Photographs of her and Yu were reprinted with ominous captions. Fans of Menglong expressed outrage and sorrow. Timelines with messages of betrayal. Some demanded justice, whispered about conspiracies, insisting that the woman might only be a pawn in a much larger game. What remains undeniable is that the case has expanded beyond anyone's imagination. 4 figures now stand in the shadows of Menglong's memory, each with a possible hand in his downfall. The CCTV footage, the hospital confession, haunting past all converge into a mystery that refuses to rest. As the first part of this unfolding saga closes, the world is left with questions more haunting than answers. The ex-girlfriend truly guilty? Her escape attempt a sign of her hidden crimes? Or was she running because she too had become a target, framed by forces more powerful than anyone dared imagine? And perhaps most chilling of all, if she is guilty, what does that say about the love she once shared with Menglong? The cameras have shown us one truth. Others' words have given us another. The rest lies in the darkness, waiting for part 2 of this tragedy to reveal what truly happened behind the glittering curtain of fame. The arrest, the mother's shocking revelation, reappearance of a ghost from Menglong's past were enough to send the public into a frenzy. But the story was far from finished. In many ways, it had only just begun. With every hour that passed, new pieces of information surfaced, painting a picture so complex and so haunting that even seasoned investigators admitted they had never seen anything like it. As the suspect's identity spread through news outlets, people scrambled to understand how the woman once introduced as Menglong's greatest love could now be paraded before the world as a criminal. Old photographs resurfaced of them laughing at parties, holding hands on late-night walks, whispering into each other's ears at industry galas. To fans, images had once symbolized hope and romance. Now, they looked like evidence of a relationship that had been poisoned long before the world realized it. Reporters dug into the past and uncovered bitter fragments of their breakup. Friends recalled arguments over jealousy, money, and career ambitions. One anonymous source claimed you had considered ending things much earlier but was afraid of the fallout. She wasn't the type to let go easily, the source said. Something about her that always felt dangerous. And herself had been silent since the breakup, vanishing from public life with no explanation. Sudden reappearance, caught on CCTV while attempting to escape. Fuel to every conspiracy theory imaginable. Was she running because she was guilty? Or was she running because she knew someone had framed her and that staying would mean certain ruin? Public opinion fractured overnight. One side were those convinced of her guilt. No innocent person runs like that, one commentator declared during a heated debate. If she had nothing to hide, why disappear for 2 years? Why try to escape now? On the other side were voices urging caution. We've seen people destroyed by false accusations before. The journalist countered. A grieving mother's words cannot replace evidence. We must be careful before branding her the villain. Police, meanwhile, found themselves under extraordinary pressure. CCTV footage was damning. But it wasn't the end of the story. Investigators scoured through phone records, financial transactions, and correspondence. According to leaks that soon reached the press, disturbing discoveries were made. There were large transfers of money between accounts tied to shell companies, vague references in encrypted messages to finishing the job, and sightings of the woman meeting with individuals already linked to the first 3 suspects. If true, the findings suggested not just a lone act of desperation, but a coordinated effort, an intricate web of betrayal designed to ensure Menglong's silence. What could he have known? What secret was so dangerous it cost him his life? The courtroom was already being prepared. Journalists described it as the trial of the century, with every seat in the gallery reserved weeks in advance. Fans of Menglong camped outside, holding candles and photographs, their tears mixing with chants for justice. Others gathered to defend the accused, waving signs that declared her innocence and demanding the media stop its witch hunt. The courthouse steps became a battleground of grief, rage, and denial. Inside the legal system, the woman's defense team crafted their narrative carefully. Painted her not as a villain, but as a victim, hounded by media scrutiny, silenced by powerful enemies, now scapegoated by a grieving mother's desperate need for closure. My client loved Menglong, her lawyer declared. She may have been angry. She may have made mistakes. But she did not kill him. Someone else is orchestrating this tragedy, and we intend to prove it. But if she was innocent, was truly guilty, theories multiplied. Chilling than the last. Some believe the 3 original suspects and the ex-girlfriend were all pawns in a game controlled by an unseen figure, an industry giant, perhaps, or a powerful financier. Whispered that the entire case was part of a cover-up for something darker, something tied to politics or underground dealings far beyond the entertainment world. Through it all, Menglong's memory became both a beacon of light and a weapon of narrative. His fans recalled his kindness, his humility, and his dedication to his craft. Every role he played seemed to take on new meaning, as if his performances had been coated with hidden truths about his own life. The tragedy elevated him into a legend. It also chained his name to the chaos unfolding in courtrooms and hospitals, in police stations and on television screens. The day the trial opened, the world watched. The woman walked in with her head bowed, her wrists shackled, her once celebrated beauty shadowed by exhaustion and fear. Cameras flashed, Commentators shouted. Yet she remained silent. Behind her, lawyers shuffled papers, ready to fight for her life. Across the room, prosecutors prepared to unleash evidence that promised to crush her defense. Among the evidence was the CCTV footage of her attempted escape, replayed in slow motion for the court. Images were undeniable, her face pale with terror, body tense with panic, her footsteps quick and erratic. Prosecution. It was proof of guilt. To the defense. It was proof of fear. She was running from those who set her up, they argued. Not from justice. Yu Menglong's mother sat in the front row, her eyes filled with both grief and fire. Every word spoken in the courtroom seemed to tear her open again. But she remained resolute. She had named the ex-girlfriend, and she would not back down. To her, not just justice for her son. It was survival, for her family, for the truth. The legacy of her life cut short. The weeks stretched on. Testimony piling upon testimony. Evidence stacked against counter-arguments. Each revelation sent shockwaves across the nation. Whispers of hidden bank accounts, secret rendezvous, coded messages exchanged in the days before Yu Menglong's death. There were witnesses who claimed to have seen the woman near his apartment on the very night he died. And there were those who insisted she had been framed. That the evidence had been twisted by forces determined to destroy her. As the trial neared its climax, chilling truth emerged, whether guilty or innocent. Girlfriend was not the only one with blood on her hands. Many people had known too much, and too many had chosen silence. The death of Yu Menglong had become a mirror reflecting the darkest corners of fame, love, and power. And yet, even as the world waited for the verdict, rumors of a fifth figure began to circulate. A name whispered in corridors. A presence hinted at in documents yet unreleased. Could it be that the entire investigation had only scratched the surface? That behind the four known suspects lurked an even greater mastermind, still hidden in the shadows? It ended not with closure, but with more questions. Judges deliberated, lawyers sparred. The public screamed for answers. In the quiet moments after court adjourned, one truth remained: the story of Yu Menglong's death was not finished. The cameras had captured an escape attempt. The mother had named a suspect. The fans had wept for justice. But somewhere out there, another secret waited to be revealed. As the lights dimmed in the courtroom and reporters rushed to file their headlines, the question lingered like smoke in the air. Was the ex-girlfriend truly the killer, the orchestrator of betrayal and violence? Or was she just another victim, caught in a web spun by someone far more dangerous? The world may never know the full answer. But one thing is certain: the tragedy of Yu Menglong has transformed from a single loss into a saga of love, deception, power, and pain. The final truth is uncovered. His story will haunt not only the hearts of his fans, but the conscience of an entire nation.